Today, we're taking a look at the Ruko F11GIM2, a drone that's been on the market since 2021. Now, you might be wondering how it holds up after all this time. It offers GPS follow mode at a competitive price point, precise control, and the ability to easily capture footage of your adventures from above. The F11GIM2 remains popular with over 300 people purchasing it on Amazon just last month, but the drone market is always changing, and Ruko's sub-brand Veeniix has since released the V11, adding another drone worth considering. In this video, we'll unbox the F11GIM2, explore its features and performance, and later compare it with the V11 to help you decide which drone might be the best fit for your aerial adventures. Let's get started with this unboxing and see what this drone has to offer. Now, you might just be wondering, what's the deal with the name like F11GIM2? Well, it turns out that there are other slight variations of this drone, like the F11 Pro, which came out even earlier, in 2019. The Pro lacks a gimbal and appears to have a different camera setup. Since then, Ruko released the F11GIM, and this version seems to be an updated or second revision, hence the 2 in F11GIM2. Now, let's get back to the actual unboxing. You get a pretty nice case right off the bat. Inside, you have the drone, a controller, and some much needed accessories. The drone comes pre-installed with a gimbal protector, which is also a nice touch. Oddly enough, there are what looks like sensors on the bottom of the drone, but it doesn't appear to have any functional sensors there. These legs, or possibly antennas, don't actually fold down, but that's okay because it still folds into a nice compact drone. On the side, it claims to support up to 128 gig micro SD card, but I tested it with a 256 gig card and it worked just fine. The package includes one pre-installed battery and an extra one, giving you some more flight time. The newer Ruko drones come with a pretty nice controller. It looks less like a toy/cheap video game controller compared to the older models, and more like what you'd expect from a DJI Mini 4K. Thumbsticks are located at the bottom of the controller and screw right in like this. Your phone slides in right here, and it comes with the connectors to hook it up whether it's an iPhone or an Android. You also get some spare blades, as well as some spare thumbsticks for the controller. Quick start guide, a user manual, plus USB Type-C charging cords, which I appreciate since USB-C is basically the new standard in charging. Gonna power it up. We've got the drone right here. We're gonna go ahead and turn this on. And it's gonna take about a minute to sync up to the remote. Now, while the controller is connecting to the drone, I'm gonna go ahead and put my cell phone right here. So we've got the extension, and in here, there is a Type-C cable, or there's other cables that came in the packaging if you have like an iPhone or something like that. All right, so it's actually connected to the drone already, but we need to connect the smartphone using the provided cables. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Slide your phone in, just like that. Take the cable, plug it in, and this will be your screen and how you see what the drone is doing. We're launching the Ruko drone app. Yes, okay, confirm. So once you launch it, you're gonna wanna go to controls up here. Once you press flight controls, you'll be able to see that it actually gives you a little tutorial for your first flight. Tells you how to unfold the drone. Tells you how to use the remote control, as well as how to calibrate the drone. And then you go into calibration for the drone. So we're gonna go ahead and spin it horizontally, and then the screen on the phone will tell you to turn it upright to do it vertically, and then you'll hear it confirm. And now it wants us to place it on a flat surface. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right here, and we can see what the drone is seeing right here. And as you can see right there, the gimbal on the drone just calibrated. So if it's lopsided, don't worry about it, it'll calibrate, just leave it alone for a second. There he is, ready to go. So we're gonna go into the app here, and we're going to go, we want to start the motors. So we're gonna slide this to start the motors. There we go. And we're going to take off. And just like that, there we go. We are ready to fly. Now we are in beginner mode, so we're gonna see how it is in beginner mode, and then we will switch it off. So far, very smooth. Oh, reach height limit, okay. So in beginner mode, it's very restricted to how high and how far you can go. Got a nice view of the mountains right here. Let's go ahead and do a quick turn, see how that is. See the road. You got your angle adjustment here, as well as your digital zoom right here. It's actually holding pretty nice and steady right now. I think we kind of found the max to the beginner mode. So let's go ahead and bring it back here. Find us, there we are. Let's see if we can turn beginner mode off while it's up in the sky. We're gonna quit beginner mode. We're gonna go ahead and save that. The Ruko F11GIM2 is a surprisingly easy drone to fly. The controls are pretty smooth, though you do have to be a bit careful with the responsiveness. If you turn the controls too quickly, the drone can get a bit jerky. So, I typically set up the angle I want and just focus on the direction I'm trying to go. In terms of responsiveness, the drone is actually pretty responsive. As long as you have a good line of sight, it has a max flight distance of 9,800 feet and a max flight altitude of 394 feet. So, you've got a good amount of range to work with. The speed capabilities of this drone are also pretty impressive. It has a max speed of about 22 miles per hour, but you do need to be in sport mode to achieve that top speed. There are actually 3 different speed settings that you can adjust on the controller. In camera mode, the drone tops out at around 10 miles per hour. In the default normal mode, it can go up to about 14 miles an hour. And then in the fastest sport mode, it reaches that 22 mile per hour top speed. Personally, I tend to keep the drone in the default normal mode. I found that it has the best middle ground between speed and getting smooth, stable footage. If you do want to bump up the speed, just be aware that it can deplete the battery a little bit quicker. Now we're going to go ahead and land it because it's saying it's got a low battery. So let's just go ahead and confirm landing. And there it goes. So about a 20-minute flight, not too bad. All right. GPS follow. I would like for it to stay as high as possible. We're gonna go down that mountain and see if the drone can keep up with us. We're gonna be going nice and slow. There's no traffic to worry about. So let's just see if it'll just follow the truck through the GPS. Here's the only bad thing that I've learned about GPS follow with these types of drones is the fact that if it loses signal, it wants to return home and it's gonna go back to where you just were. And if you're off-roading and you're in a tricky situation, that might not be too viable of an option for you. So keep that in mind. But you can really see the switchbacks we're going on, which is kind of cool. And it's still following us. Nice and slow, nice and slow. And we are still tracking. Let's keep it moving. Okay, this is going to be interesting. We're going to go into some shrubbery here. I'm going to go through the trees. See how it does. All right, this is the last stretch. All right, we made it to the road. Let's see if I can bring it down. Take GPS follow off. I want to bring it down. Come on. I'm gonna step outside. Why can't I bring you down? Oh geez. I think I know the problem is I took off from a high height, so it won't go down anymore. So what I'm gonna try right now, I can't even see it right now. What I'm gonna try right now, I'm gonna try to tell it to land, not go home. Okay, well this is fun. All right, so we're having a real problem here. I can't bring it down because of where I started at. Don't return. Don't return. Don't return. So it's returning back up the mountain right now. And I lost signal. There's the drone! Now the drone does have an indoor mode you can activate by long pressing the speed button. I wonder if that would have allowed me to override the height issue I was having, but the manual explicitly warns against using that outdoors. Apparently, it can lead to losing the aircraft. But once the auto return to home kicked in though, I was pretty much out of luck at that point. Still, I'm glad I was able to get up here and take in this amazing view. Alright, we're gonna give image follow shot here. Okay. It's pretty close to me. There we go, it should pivot. Doing a pretty good job, so it has to be really close. I'm gonna bump it up because it's kind of falling down and it lost me again. Thinks I'm the bush. So I would say you can't really depend on the image follow. Now as far as image quality goes, you can see that the 4K, once it starts to zoom out, it really starts to lose detail. So if you want a good picture, you definitely have to be close to the camera. So getting close-up shots is probably key. So let's go ahead and get some close-up shots of these trees right here. We've got a little bit of wind today. Nice little scenic shot of the trees here in the forest. Now this drone doesn't have any obstacle avoidance features, so you'll need to manually avoid flying into objects. That's something to keep in mind, especially when you're first starting out and might be using the GPS follow feature or auto return to home. However, after flying any drone a few times, you do get a better sense of control. As you can see here, flying it up through the forest at a nice, steady pace is pretty easy to manage. One area where this drone does fall a bit short is the image quality from the onboard camera. Unlike more professional grade drones, there doesn't appear to be any video settings or controls to tweak and fine-tune the footage. Sure, the drone technically records in 4K resolution, but the quality just doesn't seem to live up to their claim of breathtakingly high-resolution, crisp 4K photos and videos. In bright, sunny conditions, the small camera sensor can sometimes get overwhelmed, leading to overexposed, washed-out footage. In fact, the camera itself is even labeled as Full HD, which typically indicates 1080p resolution, not true 4K, so it is possible that there's definitely some upscaling going on to hit that 4K mark. Now there's one thing to consider when you're thinking about buying the Ruko F11, and that's actually the Veeniix V11. They are very similar drones. They both have basically the same exact 4K cameras. Also, both drones come with identical controllers, providing a familiar experience regardless of which model you choose. Now, the key difference lies in their batteries. The F11 is equipped with a 2500 mAh battery, offering about 20 minutes of flight time. In contrast, the Veeniix V11 has a larger 3500 mAh battery, extending flight time to roughly 30 minutes. Out of curiosity, I weighed the drones. The V11 tipped the scales at 1.5 pounds, while the F11 came in slightly lighter at 1.4 pounds, likely due to its smaller battery. Both drones also have the same level of wind resistance, further demonstrating their similarities. Now, the only other differences I could find is the F11 features a two-piece propeller design and it doesn't have any kind of sensors. On the other hand, Ruko claims the V11 has ultrasonic and optical flow sensors, though I didn't notice a significant difference when compared to the F11 in terms of flying or landing. The V11 also includes auxiliary lighting at the bottom, which I never found necessary to turn on, as well as a one-piece propeller design. Neither drone includes obstacle avoidance, despite the V11 having what looks like a spot for sensors in the front. So which one should you choose? I'd recommend going for whichever is cheaper. The camera quality is identical, and the app features are very similar. Both drones offer GPS follow, although image follow is lackluster on both. Ultimately, they are easy to fly, provide decent video quality, and come with nice storage and additional accessories. Over on Amazon, the Veeniix V11 is currently selling for around $390 even after discounts. That's a bit steeper than I'd recommend paying. As for the F11GIM2, the story is only slightly better. On Amazon, you can find it for $359.99 after discounts, and that's definitely closer to what these drones should cost. As these drones start to approach the $400 price point, they start to get harder to recommend, especially because you can get a DJI Mini 4K for only $300. It will not have GPS follow, but it will have a better camera. The Ruko F11GIM2 offers a mixed bag of features and performance at its current price point. The drone's ability to maintain connection over considerable distances and through obstacles is pretty impressive, but some of its features like point of interest proved less practical or reliable in real-world scenarios. At its core, the F11GIM2 is a capable drone for beginners looking to capture moments for social media. However, its current pricing pushes it dangerously close to the territory of better equipped models such as those from DJI. As it stands, potential buyers should carefully weigh their needs and budget against what this drone offers, keeping an eye out for any sales or promotions that might tip the scales in its favor. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about the Veeniix V11, check out this review right here. We did a full review on it. And hey, since you made it this far, why not subscribe to our channel? We've got awesome F-150 and Bronco content, including off-road adventures, DIY mods, and cool tech reviews. Hit that subscribe button to join our community of Ford and adventure enthusiasts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.